Lightning in the Courtroom, Story 207. One day, not long ago, we heard Bubba Doo, the faithful and under-your-feet wiener dog, up early. Going downstairs, we saw him sitting at the kitchen table with a flat of his prized petunias. At least I hoped they were his. When he saw us, he barked that we should hurry and drink our coffee, and then head up with him to Legion Park. It was time for the annual Brighton Heights plant swap, where neighbors gather in the little park and exchange plants, garden tools, trees, bushes, and vegetables. Bubba barked that he wanted to exchange his petunias for some daisies. Unfortunately, one day, he was cutting the front yard and got distracted by a cute collie walking down the street. The poor daisies didn't stand a chance. While we loaded the car with things we wanted to exchange, Bubba barked that when he was researching Story 203, Murder at the Old Stone House, he had stumbled across another tragic news story and a dramatic trial in a Butler County, Pennsylvania courtroom. Here is Bubba's account. On January 17, 1967, the Franklin News-Herald reported that 17-year-old Ada Katie Lumley from Grove City was missing. She was described as 5 feet 4 inches tall, with hazel eyes and long brown hair. She was last seen wearing blue jeans, a white blouse, an olive green jacket, and blue flats. Anyone with information should contact local police or the Pennsylvania State Police. Almost 2 weeks later, her body was found in an abandoned strip mine near Branchton. She had been stabbed repeatedly. There was no evidence she had been assaulted. 2 days later, her boyfriend, Donald Leroy Brown, 23, was arrested. He was an unemployed former bakery truck driver and married, but he was also dating the high school sophomore Ada. 1 week later, more charges were filed against Donald Brown for the murder of 69-year-old William Colson, a Lake Township, Mercer County farmer. At first, authorities thought he had been the victim of a hit and run, but closer examination of his body revealed he had been shot several times with a revolver. In July 1967, the trial of Donald Leroy Brown for the murder of Ada Lumley began. One key witness against Donald Brown was his brother, 18-year-old Samuel Brown. He turned state's evidence against his brother in exchange for having charges for stealing 3 automobiles while he was on probation dropped. He told the court his brother had said, "I got rid of her the other night." When the prosecution began its closing arguments, an intense thunderstorm struck the city of Butler, and one of the most dramatic moments in the history of a Butler County courtroom occurred. With one hand, the prosecutor held aloft the jacket Ada Lumley was wearing when she got murdered. The jacket contained 13 holes caused by a knife. With his other hand, the prosecutor held the knife used to kill Ada and began counting and thrusting the knife. On the count of 13, a bolt of lightning struck the courthouse. The lights went out, but in the darkness of the courtroom, the lightning arched between 2 chandeliers in the room. As order was restored and the lights came back on, Donald Leroy Brown was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment. 1 year later, he was found guilty of the murder of William Colson. We finished looking over the plants at Legion Park and were happy to see people picking up the things we donated. Bubba had found daisies to replace the ones he mowed over. We went home and Bubba asked for a drink, no ice. Bubba has found that ice in his drink makes him ask why Cinderella was so bad playing soccer. because she kept running away from the ball.
Oh.
Bubba got his drink and after a few sips barked that there was more to the story. In 1995, police began questioning Donald Leroy Brown about the 1966 unsolved murder of 63-year-old Lee Dillman of Slippery Rock. He began telling the police that he murdered Ada after his brother Samuel struck her on the head with a wrench, knocking her unconscious. On January 17, 1996, Samuel Brown was arrested in Lake City, Florida, and extradited back to Pennsylvania. But on June 17, 1996, just as Donald Brown was, in a twist of fate, preparing to testify against his brother Samuel, the Superior Court judge delayed the trial, saying that Samuel's statements to police shortly after Donald was arrested in 1967 were not admissible. On August 1, 1996, Samuel Brown was released from prison on $1 bond. Finally, in March 1998, the trial against Samuel Brown got underway in the Butler County Courthouse. It came out that the two brothers killed Ada Lumley to silence her from telling authorities that they had killed Mercer County farmer William Colson 3 days earlier. Samuel Brown was found guilty of his part in the murder of Ada Lumley. As the sentence of life imprisonment was read, her family embraced in tears. Justice at last had been served. Maintenance workers at the Butler County Courthouse later said that at night, while the trial of Samuel Brown was going on, footsteps and noises could be heard coming from the courtroom where Ada Lumley's blood-stained clothing was being held. At the exact moment, Samuel Brown declared, "As God is my witness, I did not kill Ada Lumley." The courtroom was plunged into darkness. No one was near the light switches. It was the same courtroom where lightning had struck during Donald Brown's trial in July 1967. Bubba Doo finished his story and ran outside to plant the daisies he got at the plant swap. I hope this finds you safe, healthy, and sane. And please beware of wiener dogs asking why cows never wear bells. Or why cows wear bells. Because their horns don't work.
Oh, Lord.